Swamiji, please just speak about the word abhyasa or repeated practice in reference to meditation.
Meditation, yes. See, Abhyasa, the word comes from Sanskrit. Abhitaha aste iti abhyasa. That is that which sits all around you completely. It is established its seat all around you, not only on one side. So that is abhyasa. That is repetition. When you repeat, whatever you repeat, it sits permanently all around you. Then, with reference to the spiritual practices, I will start with, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna puts one very, very vital question, which is the question of one and all, even today. And the question is, oh Lord Krishna, it is very difficult to control the mind, because in a second it goes wherever it wants. It goes to Maldives Islands, it goes to Timbuktu, it goes to India, it goes to Holland. God, it is very difficult to control it. So, how to control this mind which runs amok? And I don't think it is so easy to control it. What is the method? He says there are two methods. Both should be applied together. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena tu grhyate. Look here, the number one is abhyas, repetition, repetition, repetition. I will come to that exactly. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Then the second one is vairagya. Vairagya means to the withdrawal of the mind from all the objects of the world. That is, you like some objects, you love some objects, you dislike some objects, you hate some objects. Thus, to rid the mind of both that attachment as also that revulsion, the dislike, the hatred, both should go, and that's called vairagya. Now, he is asking about the first part, the abhyasa. What happens is, due to, see, we in India believe in the reincarnation, that is rebirth. So in the previous verse, we have done several things, and several things were repeated. Say for instance, seeing some games being played, cricket being played in my TV night and day. I have been doing it all the times in my previous births. So naturally, even as a child, the moment I see the cricket ball, I don't want it to be removed, I want to see that. So this conditioning was a repeated conditioning. So whatever you have been conditioned in the previous birth, whatever you liked and whatever you disliked, and all these things, they have put some strong impressions on you. Now, how to get rid of those strong impressions? In other words, by repeating something, it is just like hypnotism or mesmerism. In the hypnotism, you give a pass and you repeat certain commands again and again. Hey, you are sleeping, your eyes are becoming heavy, your eyelids are drooping, you are sleeping, and the man begins to sleep. The repetition does the trick. It goes and sits all around there and begins to rule, and that controls the mind, and it says, mind, go around this only. So, if this conditioning has to be countered or negated, then there has to be an equal hypnotism, an equal repetition of what you want to achieve. So if you want to achieve the direct perception of the ultimate Supreme Being, the Lord or the Divine Mother, whatever you may consist of, then you have to consistently and continuously, persistently You have to go on doing that. Oh Lord, oh my dear Lord, oh my dear Lord, oh my dear Mother, oh Parameshwari, oh Lord of all the universe. So you go on repeating it, then these impressions go and sit on the top of the earlier conditioning. Those conditionings are completely being squashed. They are going down, they are not allowed to come up, and what comes up is only this, the Lord's name. To that extent you have to hypnotize. When during sleep somebody wakes you up suddenly, wake up by taking the Lord's name. Oh Narayan, oh Lord of the universe, oh Govinda, oh Mother of the universe, oh Divine Mother, oh Mother of compassion. Thus, every second, including in your sleep, dreams, in your subconscious mind, the mind is completely soaked with, all around it is soaked with the name of the Lord and the memory of the Lord. And that is why this abhyasa or repetition is 100% necessary in order to give the counter suggestion or the counter hypnotism, so that the same thing will conditioning you again. It is to recondition you to the presence of the Lord, to the constant presence of the Lord. The Lord is ever present, but you have to manifest Him by invoking His presence. Otherwise, it remains unmanifest. It remains unknown. It does remain, but you are not aware of it. What is the use? When you are aware of it, it gives you an ecstasy. The purpose of our life is to have perennial happiness, and the perennial happiness can be obtained only through the Lord, through the Supreme Lord. He holds the key to the supermarket for happiness, permanent happiness, perennial happiness, and the ineffable bliss. And that is why this abhyasa is required. Then there is another abhyasa which has been defined at the later stage. At a later stage, initially you start only by taking the Lord's name. But then, again the mind is a mischief maker. It plays. When you are trying to take the Lord's name, it takes you somewhere else. When you are trying to take the Jesus name, it takes you to Allah. When you are trying to take the Allah's name, it takes you to Ram. The mind plays a lot. So, this abhyasa has been defined in a different way. That is, tat kirtanam, tat kathanam, parasparam, tat prabodhanam. This is called the Brahmabhyasa. That is, you go on talking about it. Whoever comes, my dear, do you know the purpose of our life? It is not to simply eat and live, go to the best of the restaurants, take every day, and then take our gin and soda and play for a little while some tennis. No. This will take you down. It will take you down not in this birth, for birth and birth, because it creates a conditioning. So in order to counter that conditioning, you go on talking about Him. You go on hearing about Him. You go on singing songs, because sometimes, instead of thinking when you sing a song with a tune, you are able to do it for a longer time. And tat kirtanam. Kirtanam means play it in a sort of a musical way, play it as a melody, play it as a song. The song is so beautiful. So instead of simply saying, oh Lord, oh Lord of the universe, protect me at all times, I am dependent on you. You are my sole refuge. You are my sole refuge. You are my sole refuge. So when you sing like this, automatically you love it better than pronouncing it in a prose form. This appeals to you better. So tat kirtanam, tat kathanam, you go on talking about the Lord. Whoever comes to you, you say, look here, don't waste your time. Don't waste 1 minute of your time. We don't know when the Lord of Death is going to snatch us away from this world. So only when you are here, when you are a little conscious, we are a little awakened that there is a God, there is a Supreme Being who will be able to help us by getting whose even a glimpse, our entire life could be saved. So, Tat Kathanam, go on talking about him. Tell some stories of bhaktas, how they got benefited by concentrating on the Lord, by meditating on the Lord. Tat Kirtanam, Tat Kathanam, then Parasparam Tat Prabodhanam. See, there are two devotees. In the morning when you meet, don't talk about other things. Don't say, hey, what is the news today? Instead you ask him, my dear son, have you, this morning, have you told some what you may call, some praises of the Lord? Oh, mother dear, your mother is always dearer to us than our father. But here is a case, you are rolled in one, the two in one. You are the mother, you are the father, you are all, you are everything to me. So thus, you wake him up, otherwise he might have forgotten this morning. So then he is reminded, oh my Lord, this morning I have not taken Lord's name, Govinda, oh Lord, Lord Jesus. So he goes on taking the names of any Lord. You take anything so long as you take it, thinking it is the name of the Supreme, that final Supreme Being who is the only truth, and we are all his reflections. And then it doesn't matter by what name you call. Rose called by any name smells sweet, and God called by any name smells sweetest. So that is called Parasparam Tat Prabodhanam. You wake up mutually. You wake him up, he wakes you up. Then you ask, hey, you told that you are going to read some bhakta story, the story of some high devotees, how they had renunciation, how they had love for the Lord, how intense was their love. Once you read those things, how they had absolutely no care for anything in the world. They never bothered even about their own food, and they were. See, there's a story, there's a very beautiful story. There was a potter, and that potter, he was a great devotee of the Lord. Even when he was preparing from the mud, the pot, by shaping the mud and all that, he was always taking the Lord's name. Govinda, Narayana, oh dear mother, oh divine mother. He was always taking the name of the Lord. And when he was busy, and then he will be, after shaping them, and the oven will be running, a big oven, he will be putting them in order to make it mature. A mature pot, so he has to put it in the fire. Now what happened? One day, he was in absolute ecstasy. He was not aware of anything external about his body even. And automatically his hands were shaping the pots and feeding the oven with them. At that time, his wife had a small child, a lovely child, aged about 6 months old. It was only 6 months old, so that potter was going on taking the Lord's name, Govinda, Krishna, He Ram, He Ram. He was not even aware. His wife came and said, hey, look here, I had to go to the market, so please look after this child. That child was 2 months old. And she just put it by the side of the mud. He was not aware. He was telling Govinda, Govinda, and he was taking the mud and then he was shaping them into the pot. He was not aware of this small child. A very delicate child, just born a month back or 2 months back. And he mixed it up with the mud, and with his hands he was completely squeezing it. He was not aware the entire blood was coming out, and then he made a pot of it, and then he fed it into the oven. My Lord, But then the lady of the house came within half an hour. Hey, where is my child? Where is our child? When she was shouting, he woke up. Narayan, what do you mean? What child? Hey, half an hour back I left it in your care. Where is it gone, my child? Then he found the pot. It was reddish in color. And there were pieces of bone and flesh. Oh my Lord. Lord, what have I done? My son, I have mixed it with the mud and automatically taking Lord's name, I have put it in the oven. Lord, how will I console my wife? I have nothing. I have no attachment to anything. But this poor lady, she will die. Then the Lord himself came and he carried in his hand that 1.5 months old child. And he said, hey, don't worry, here is the child. And he gave it to him. That is how we should. Just like a scientist who is involved completely in his, he is not aware when he took his meals, he is not aware when he took his coffee, only God only he knew. So that is how we should think of God. And that not only that constancy, your entire heart and soul should be in it. You shouldn't be aware of anything external.